Hey guys, and welcome back. Today we are going to be building the Dragon Quest save system, and we've already gone through and built the very first part of that, so we're going to go ahead and continue building the pastor portion of that. So where we left off, oh, you know what? This is tutorial number 15, part 2. So anyways, um, we are going to go ahead and build the pastor's menu now that is going to give you the options of confession, benediction, etc. And then what those are all going to relate to and what they're going to do. So let's go ahead and look a little bit closer now at our request so that we know better exactly how we're going to fill it. So first off, what we're going to do is we're going to make a menu with 5 options. These 5 options: confession, divination, resurrection, benediction, and purification. The first option is going to be save game. The second one's going to tell you how much experience you have remaining until you gain your next level. The third one is to bring a member back to life. However, bringing them back to life is going to cost you some money. And then benediction is going to remove a curse, and of course the cure of poison. So these three are all pretty similar as far as identifying a actor that needs to have something done to them. So those are going to probably be pretty much a very similar method, but there'll just be a couple of different changes on it. So let's go ahead and get into it. So first off, in order to make a menu, now the thing is that we are not trying to make a really complex menu in this case, and there's nothing special about this one. So all we need to do is we need to say, get us a window, and here's our commands for it. So there's a great class that already handles that for us. It's already used inside of the menu. It's inside of the battle system. It's used all over the place. It is called window command. So what we're going to do is we're going to hijack and use the existing window command, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to call it as part of another scene. So we don't even need to construct any menus or anything like that. We can use pre-made ones that just ask for, what are the commands you want to give it, and then of course you can translate those to actual actions inside of your scene. So we're going to go ahead and construct a new scene, and I'm going to call this scene DQ save, or scene DQ. You know, it can't be the same name as your modules. So, oh, actually, yes, it can, because it is class and then it has the word scene on it. So you'll be all right with that. So we'll go ahead and, you know what? Let's call this scene save DQ, like that. I like that better. And then we'll just leave that lowercase. Alright, so first off, we're going to go ahead and start our scene, and then of course later we're going to need to terminate it, and then after that we'll need to update it, and then inside of here we're going to need to update any windows that we draw. So I like to create a separate method for update windows. And then, so same goes along with that, is to create windows. So I like to create a method for that, create windows. Alright, so we are going to start our scene and we are going to create our windows. Inside of our create windows, we are going to draw a command window, or you know what, we're going to call this main command. Main command equals window command dot new, and then the first argument, I believe, is the width of the window that it can, or that it needs to be. And yes, width, and then a array, a command string array. So let's go back down here. So we're going to say it's going to be 160 wide, and then we are going to pass that our commands. Okay, so we shouldn't need to pass it anything else because the rest of them were all optional commands for wide menus versus tall menus, etc. We're just going to leave it as the default, which is a tall menu, and we will go from there. So commands. What is commands? So let's go ahead and define it. So here we've got a new array, and you can, at this point, you can do it this way. You can say commands and then dot push, and then you could specify the command, or you could do this and then the command, which is the same thing as a push, or you could do commands and then the index equals the command, or you could just forego that and type them in right here or in the initialize. So, I mean, you've got your options. I'm going to go ahead and just push them in through this method. So our first command is confession. The second one, divination, resurrection. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take that. We're going to paste that in here, right there. And I can trim out what I don't want and put it in like that. And then we're going to cut that down to here. Commands push, quote, end quote, commands push, benediction, and then the last one, commands push, quote, purification, quote. Alright, so now we've got all of our commands there, and then we are going to pass that to our main command. And then once we get our command window created, we should probably put it in the center of the screen. So let's go ahead and say that the X value is going to be equal to, and I think the screen is 544. So we're going to say divided by 2, which gives us the center, and then we're going to offset that by, oh, looks like my camera just decided it was going to turn off. So hold on just a second, I'll fix it. And I'm back. Yeah. Sorry, the battery pack died on me. So anyways, let's go ahead and get back into this. So, alright, we were pushing our screen. We were resetting the position of our command window to the center of the screen. So we decided that this was going to be the center of the screen, and then we need to offset it by the command window dot width, also divided by 2, so that we push it only to the left as much as it needs to be perfectly centered. Okay, so we're just going to kind of copy that and use that again for the Y method, but I believe it's only 416, and we need to use the height of the window. Alright, so now that we've got our window created, now we need to, of course, update it. So we say update, and then let's see, let's go ahead and add an update input. Alright, so update input. You know, let me go ahead and zoom this back a little bit. You guys look like you're looking at the wall. There. Alright, so we are running update input, which currently does not exist, so let's go ahead and add it. Update input, and then of course this is where we're going to check for, you know, whether or not or what should be executing. So what we're going to do is we're going to say if main command dot active equals true, then update main. And then of course right now that's always going to be the case. Whenever you define a window command, it's always going to be defaultly active. So if you make more than one, you need to make sure that you disable or set the active to false on all the other windows until you actually get to the when you're ready there. So we're going to go ahead and say if input.trigger input C, then we are going to go ahead and run its update routine. We are going to use the main command .index, and we're going to run a case off of that. And so we're going to say when 0 or confession, then it's going to do this. When it is 1, It is divination. It is going to do this when 2. Resurrection, it is going to do this. And you know what? For 1, 2, and 3, sorry, 1, 3, and 4, resurrection, benediction, and purification, they are all pretty similar. So we're just going to go ahead and put them all 3 on that one so that we call up a separate method to determine, who should be in our list, etc. Because they all need to say, well, is someone inflicted with this? And if they are, then to go ahead and list them. If they're not, then post the appropriate message to say that they're not. And third is to go ahead and take money and cure them. Now, I don't know whether they should all take money or not, but this way here, we can group them together. Since they're all a similar action, then we can actually go ahead and run them all together. So if you wanted to, you can also just use ... or, as I had before, comma 3, comma 4. All right, and then our last one here, if input.trigger input B, then of course we are going to sound.play cancel, and then we are going to return you to the map. So we're going to say scene equals scene map.new. And let's see, terminate. We need to destroy our window that we created. Command.dispose. Alright, so now we should have a pretty good skeleton of what's going to happen. So we can go ahead and test that now. What you'll do is you'll copy that text, and we're going to change this guy since we've already tested that portion of it now. And we're just going to have him call our new script or scene for us. And then we say .new. Yep, .new. And then let's go ahead and call that and make sure it's all drawing. And dispose of it. And scene, undefined superclass, scene save. What the crap is, oh, scene, what did I put save there for? I don't know. I meant scene base. I must have been thinking that, it was a save system or something. Did I reset my volume back down? I don't think so. Hold on. Let me fix that before you go to the next one here. No, I did. I left it low. All right. So we're going to go ahead and talk to this guy. An undefined method width for nil class. I must have misspelled something. Main windows. I did that wrong. Uno mas. We are going to go ahead and talk with this. Talk with him. Width for nil class. That's funny. Oh, main window. It was main command. See? Spelling. The bane of my existence. And all programmers, to be honest. Alright, so let's go ahead. Magical door. And here we've got our stuff. Now, the thing is, though, do we really want to get rid of the scene out of the background? Probably not. So let's go ahead and look at how the menu does it. In RPG Maker VX, they just run create menu background. So let's just go ahead and create menu background. Ta-da! It's got a background. And it's going to use the map. So, alright, so now we've got our window. It's drawing in the center of the scene. We've got the scene set so that it only grays it out to just show you, what do you want to do. And now we just need to decide what we're going to do. So, confession, it's going to call our save menu. So let's take a quick look at how the menu calls the save. And then let's go from there. So update command, and here we've got scene, let's see, input C. Oh, we commented out the save system here earlier, and here was our previous save function. So we're going to copy that, and we're going to come back down to here, and we're going to go ahead and paste it. And then we're going to do a sound.play decision, and then we are going to go ahead and do that. Now, what is this true, false, false stuff here? So let's go look at scene file, which is right there, and it is saving from title or from event. Now, I think we're actually going to enable the from event because we want it to return to the map. So let's go ahead and search from event and make sure that it is, yes, it is in fact returning to the map. So I think we are going to pass it a true on that final one, and it's definitely not from the title, and we're not loading, so it needs to be true, false, true for what we're looking for. So we're going to change this to a true, and ta-da, it's done. All right, divination. Divination was supposed to, priest would tell you how much experience you had left to go before your next level. He would say this for all of the characters in the current party. So let's go ahead and take a look at how we would do that. So first, we need to get all of the actors. And so to do that, sorry, it looks like you guys are playing soft focus on me. Sorry, I'm playing with a I've had this camera now for a while, but this is the first time I've used it for this, so also better quality. Yeah, hey. Anyways, let's see, divination. We are going to go through each of the actors. So we're going to say for actor in game party dot members, and then we are going to get a list, and that is going to be an array, and then for each actor we're going to push actor.name plus quote space quote, and then we are going to add onto that the actor experience to next lev string. I'm sure there is a method for this, so we're just going to go double check it. But basically, if there wasn't, we would go create a method that would basically go get this for us from the actor. So let's see, next, get string for next level experience. Just like that. Although all we want is the rest or the remaining experience. So let's get its next rest experience string. So let's go ahead and copy that. We're going to paste that right there. All right, now that's all that's left is to draw it. You know what? I'm going to use the window, the message window for this. So that way I don't have to play around, monkey with it at all. So we can get this. So let's go ahead and say, let's go ahead and define our message window up here. And then let's go ahead and make that equal to, I believe it's window message.new. Yep, window message. So we're going to go ahead and let's see, where were we? We were right there. All right, .new, and we're just going to leave it wherever it's always going to be in the lower portion, of course. So we create our window, and it's always going to be lower center, so we don't need to worry about moving it around or anything. So we're going to say, you know what, let's look exactly how we push text into there, or better yet, let's just go look at how it gets its stuff. Let's see, update, show fast. There's probably going to be some sort of a show message here. Continue, start message, that looks right. All right, game message text dot size. So it's an array of strings. So we should be able to just push each string in there. So let's go ahead and do this, and there goes my cell phone again. Hold on, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. All right, let's go ahead and continue. So here we were saying that the game text is an array, and it is going to have a list of each of the strings that we're going to show. So let's go ahead and scroll down here to the bottom. And so here we have already got the strings, and we push those into a list. So all we need to do is say game message text, and we're going to say add equals. You know, we might not be able to just set it equal because that might not be exposed. So what we're going to do is, well, you know what, let's just get rid of list. We don't even need it. What we're going to do is we're going to push each one of those directly onto text. just like that. And then that is going to push that over to the other, and let's see. I think that's all we need, because the message window will take care of everything else. So let's go ahead and tell it that we want to update the message window. And of course that we dispose the scene, we dispose the message window. And I think that is all. So the good news is that the message window has all of its update stuff inside of it. So we don't actually need to, it's nice because then they can call the message window in front, it can do whatever it needs to, and then it automatically closes and does everything it's supposed to on its own. So what we need to do is we need to find out, how do we say, don't do this stuff because the message window is already running. So what we need to do is we need to look at either whether or not the message window is visible possibly, or there might actually be a method inside of the message window, because the message window will sometimes disappear and then reappear based upon different things. So we don't want to preempt it and start allowing you to continue until that message window is complete. So let's look through here and see if we've got any methods available to us. Not in the window message, but game message might. Let's look at that. Game message is part of the interpreter, so it should be being updated. And here we've got a message saying, oh, well, if you're still waiting on text, then say you're busy. So let's use that. We're going to just say, unless message window dot busy. Alright, so I think that should do it. Let's go ahead and test it out and try that function. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and start. Go ahead and talk to this, and then over here and talk to him. And busy for window. Oh, you know what? I did it for window message, but it was supposed to be game message. Game message. Alright, let's try that again. Okay, go ahead and talk to him. Here we've got our menu, of course. Now you can see that we did actually get our background into it. And then if we say confession, it transfers us to the safe. We cancel and it returns us to the map, which is probably the best function for it. Divination cannot convert fixed num into string. What is being a fixed num? Fixed num. Oh, you know what? I thought this was supposed to be a string. Well, let's convert it to a string after that. So this is a method for a string. It's actually a global object method to say, convert it into a string. So used all over the place. So let's go ahead and finish this. Try it again. And talk to him, divination. And there we have it. The remaining experience to the next level for each of those characters. We hit enter, and it's listing it again and again. If we hit cancel, it is canceling out of the whole thing. So, alright, let's take a look here. So, what is going on here? Aha, alright, so here we've got our update window stuff. Well, what happens is that there's only one input update per overall graphic or screen update. So what happens is that it's going to go through and it's going to say, alright, well, your input is C. Well, then it goes through and says, alright, well, let's go through all of the different methods within this, and then before it rechecks the input. So what it's going to do is it's going to look at update windows here. The window has the method in it in order to say, go ahead and dispose the window. But then we're saying, alright, well, go ahead and update this if that's not busy, but you just cleared that so it's not busy anymore. So now it's going to go ahead and do this, and of course you haven't moved, so it's going to just perform that exact same thing. So that is what we need to fix. And to fix that, all we have to do is take this and put it right there, just like that. That's it. So let's just go ahead and double check that just to be sure. And so we're going to go ahead and say new game. We're going to talk to our magical door and then our guy down here. Divination. He's going to tell us. We hit enter and it returns us to our menu without showing us again. So excellent news. Now, other question though is if we hit cancel, it closes the window. So there you have it. Regardless of your input, it's going to return you to the appropriate one, and all it took was just reversing the order of the updates, whether or not you were updating your windows first or whether or not you were updating your input selection first. So being that the windows themselves may have some input selection stuff in them, then it's best that they update afterwards, so that if we're waiting on them, that they should of course execute last, so that it doesn't end up going back into one of the other loops. All right, so let's see. For our next one, we have Resurrection, Benediction, and Purification that are all going to be kind of a bit special. We're going to need to define a number of different things, so I think I'm going to save that one for our next part. So we're going to go ahead and call this one for right now, and we will see you guys in just a moment.